Hey all, Choiboy here. Welcome to the first video of 2023. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. It's been pretty chill holiday for me, just off break from work, and I will be returning next Monday on the 9th. And maybe some of you have been working throughout, or some of you might have been on break just like me, but hope you all had a nice wee break, even if just those public holidays. So, simple agenda today. We'll go over my 2022 stock picks right here. How did they do? And my 2023 stock picks. Remember, there is a disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. Please take everything I say with a grain of salt because this is just for entertainment. As I said, it's not for you to invest in just because I mentioned these stocks in these stock picks. The brokers kind of go along with this kind of fun competition, and there's a competition going around in the share trader forum as well in New Zealand. So there's a lot of people just picking their 5 stocks for the year just to see how they go and kind of, a bit of competition between each other, but nothing serious. It's got an equal weighting amongst the 5 stocks, so it just looks over the average return once the year ends. So the time period is a bit tricky. It's not the calendar year. It's from the 20th of December to 16th of December. Don't really know why. Don't ask me. That's just how the brokers do it. So I'm just going to follow the same kind of, time period. Let's get straight onto it. So 2022 picks. They were Plexure, Oceania, Raycon, Heartland Group Holdings, and Comvita. Just by looking at that, I know you guys would have seen some of these stocks and they've been hammered. And I realized that I didn't pick the best stocks, even though I didn't fill it with like crazy high risk tech stocks. The only high risk stock I really had, in my personal view, was Plexure. And Raycon was also kind of like a high risk, but I thought Oceania, Heartland, and Comvita would be reasonably stable, and I was not right. Comvita did better than the other two, like Oceania, Heartland, but let's go straight into it. So how did they actually do? Stock picks for 2022 returns. Plexure had a bit of thing going on with the reverse acquisition that happened like, I don't know, last year or last year was it? Kind of forgot the timings of exactly when these happened, but there has been a ticker change for Plexure. It's called TSK now for Task rather than PX1, which was Plexure, and it seems like Task is becoming the new front facing company for this Task Group Holding. So yeah, Plexure is slowly moving to the backside of the merge, the acquisition. Regardless, it's done a negative 22.9%, which is actually not too bad. The whole point that Plexure went through this drama around, acquiring Task, but actually it was a reverse acquisition, and there was a lot of things, ticker changes, and, kind of like a brand, like relaunch or something like that. I don't know. Like, there wasn't actually a relaunch, but it just feels like they rebranded just slightly. Yeah, so either way, people really didn't like the sound of this drama in Plexure, so they started selling off, which hit a low of like 17 cents or something. It was like low 10s, like low mid 10s at its bottom. Then it did come back up to like 37 cents, and it's just been staying there ever since. So negative 22.9% is a lot better, mainly because people were kind of happy that Plexure is finding its place and it's been stabilizing a lot better nowadays. Their cash flow is nearly positive again for what I can see, so it won't be long until their earnings come up to the positive as well, hopefully. So yeah, Plexure could have been worse, but it's a lot better, which is good. It's quite interesting that the other companies did worse than Plexure, which I did not expect. If I had to choose the worst performing company, it would have been Plexure, but that just happened to be not the case. So Oceania was negative 42.8%. I think a lot of people didn't expect it to go down that much. I think it went down that much mainly because the property market kind of went on a downhill in the recent months, which I think Oceania and all the other retirement villages are quite hedged on the property market because a lot of their assets are property and land and development, right? So I think it kind of correlates there. So I think not a lot of people expected the property market to go down that much. Even me, back in January last year, did not expect the property market to dip that much, but this is something I kind of realized as the year went on, and it was a bit too late. And I already picked Oceania. If I knew the property market would dip this much, then yeah, I would have actually not picked Oceania. But either way, it is what it is. It was the worst performing one in this 5 pick. Raycon at negative 41.7%, also one of the worst performing. I did not expect Raycon to dip this much, especially with those strong financials and strong financial position, let's say, or market position. I think they're still really good company. It's just maybe people were selling off because the market was going down, but 41.7% in the negative is just harsh. I don't think Raycon really deserved it, and I really don't know what's going on. I think they did a bit of executive change and whatnot, but I don't think it was worth a negative 41.7%. So I really did not expect that as well. I thought maybe it'd go down as much as the NZ50 kind of return, which was negative 9%. I would have expected something similar just because of the market falling, but not negative 41. So that was quite an outlier for me. But yeah, it's not good having 240 something percent in the negatives in my stock picks already, which screwed off my whole average. Carrying on, it's the Heartland Group Holdings, negative 21%. I think it was a mistake to choose a bank. I don't think banks are doing too well, especially with the recession and rising interest rates. I don't know. Like, I thought that in a recession, banking sector would be a decent choice, but I guess not. I don't know if it was just Heartland. I don't really check ANZ and Westpac. But Heartland, I expected it to do better than negative 21. Maybe like just follow the market trend, like negative 9%, negative 10%. But yeah, negative 21. So it seems like all my stock picks were pretty crap this year. And yeah, not a single positive stock pick, which is quite saddening. A lot of unexpected turns in the market in the past year, but it is what it is. Last one, Comvita. It is negative 8.6%. This is expected. I don't think Comvita had too much going on in the past year, and it just fell as much as the NZ50 pretty much at negative 9%. So it was quite on point with the market trends. I have nothing much to say there. So my average percentage return was negative 27.4%, which is pretty bad. Actually very, very bad. It's worse than the NZ50, which did negative 9%. And you know what we all say, if you are consistently doing worse than the market trend, you should not be stock picking. Obviously, I did not invest into a lot of these stocks, except for Plexion and Raycon, which wrecked my portfolio as well, my public portfolio, but my private portfolio had more dividend focused stocks, which are standing a bit better than these companies here. But yeah, my stock picks are not there to make consistent gains. My purpose for these stock picks is to, you know, really outdo the market, and it was more of a risky pick rather than conservative. So yeah, it's all for fun at the end of the day. So yeah, that's how it went for the returns. And if we go back to the brokers pick, which were the professionals doing this brokers pick, you can see that the NZ50 was negative 9%-ish. So that was the general market trend, which we call the market. And Jarden at negative 1%, Hamilton at negative 7%, Share Trader Top 5, which is the Share Trader Forum, they did negative 15%. So even they did better than me, which is quite saddening, to be honest. But it is what it is. Craig's at negative 4%, and Forsyth Bar at 5%, 5.8% in the positive. Then MSL at 9.6%. I think Promisia, I don't know what this company really does. I don't know why they picked it, and it's a very small company for what I know, but yeah, that just carried the average for these guys. So I don't know if that really counts. That's a bit dodgy. You should not be picking really small companies in the brokers pick, I think, because it's easy for a small company to double in price all of a sudden. Just, you know, it's just too easy. So I don't really count penny stocks into these picks, but you know, yeah, so this was an iffy one, but yeah, still 9.6%. And Hobson Wealth at negative 26.9%. 2.3%, which is quite similar to me, and they mainly got wrecked by Trade Window Holdings, which is a new company. Had a lot of backings, but it just fell short in terms of the expectations from the investors, so it didn't do so well in the past year. So that's the brokers picks, and obviously you're here for my 2023 picks. So going to that, it is Plexure, which is called Task, TSK ticker. Got Raycon, got Sky City Entertainment Group, we got Spark and NZME. So those are my 5 picks for this year, and it will be ending sometime in December as well. I'll put the time frame up when I make the video for this in a year's time. But yeah, I'm keeping Plexure and Raycon because I still think they are in a strong position. I don't expect them to fall much further. I might expect them to consolidate for the majority of this year. I'm not entirely sure, but I think they have a lot of good things coming along in their side because their financials are actually improving in the recent days, so I'm quite hopeful for them. Sky City is something quite controversial because it is a sin stock. You know, they make earnings out of gambling and whatnot, but they have a lot of other businesses like the Sky Tower itself, hotel, restaurants like Hospo. So they have a lot of, you know, wide verticals, right? So there's not just the gambling sector they're into, and I think they've been quite unfairly treated because of the whole pandemic, but I think they will be seeing some light there. Financials actually not that bad. It did dip to the negative earnings, but I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing. I think they will pop off as things are normalized right now, and we're slowly moving back to the pre-COVID kind of days. So that's what I'm hoping here. Spark is something people will just continue to use regardless of the recession or whatever the Reserve Bank is doing. It's not going to stop you from, you know, using your mobile phone, using the internet, and, you know, all these kind of services, right? So I think Spark will be a pretty good pick for this year. It's relatively a conservative pick because these kind of utilities, telecom and infrastructure companies do reasonably well in these kind of recession times. So that's my pick there. And the last one is NZME, which is something I've picked off from one of my viewers, and I picked it because their financials are actually pretty good, and I think they're a pretty good dividend stock at this point in time, and as long as they kind of keep this going for this year, I think they still have a bit of growth left. Still undervalued in my opinion for their financials. So these are my 5 picks for this year. Quite interesting to see what's gonna come along this time. If we go back to the brokers pick, we can see that the brokers picked a lot of these infrastructure companies as well, so like Infratil, Vulcan Steel, manufacturing of course, Spark we see here, EBOS Group, very popular pick and generally throughout any kind of time period really. Some people are hopeful in Air New Zealand, this MSL guys, you know, they didn't choose many small company. I don't know how big is NZ Rural Land, but I don't know about this one. But yeah, I know most of these companies, so not a lot of them are going out to like those penny stocks, which is good. I don't think we should be including those in general, but some in AIA, which is the airport, Chorus, Meridian, Spark, Tourism Holdings, EWOS. So you can see that Craig's is going a bit more conservative. Jardin's got Pacific Edge. I don't know what's going on. I haven't looked into Pacific Edge for quite some time, but that's quite an interesting pick as well. Seems like Tourism Holdings in Forsyth Bar and Craig's is quite interesting because I think a lot of people are expecting the tourism market to kind of pick back up in this year, which is quite a fair, reasonable assumption. It's just that I don't know if we'll be going back to the pre-COVID kind of stages, but we'll see about it. It seems like a hot pick. And we got AFT Pharmaceuticals, which is quite a risky pick in my opinion as well, but it's in there for MSL. So yeah, a lot of interesting picks, you know, but a lot of them are infrastructure based or utilities and, you know, those a bit more conservative traditional companies. So it's going to be quite an interesting year to see how these work out by the end of this year. So that are the picks. Okay, hope you enjoyed that, and I think I haven't done a Sharesies portfolio update for quite some time, so I'll do a sneak peek right now. So this is my public portfolio. It's dipped under $10,000 eventually, mainly because of BlackBerry and Plexure, continuing to go down. Plexure actually came back up a bit, but Briscoes is from the previous pick a stock for till 7 figures, which I will be doing another live stream to kind of replace this with another new stock to start off the year, which will be a live stream soon, maybe sometime in January or February, so look out for that. BlackBerry, something I'm still hopeful of is just I don't think the market's been really great with them. Plus, I think people are still having the wrong idea about the company, but nonetheless it came down a lot and I lost so much from this company, but it is what it is. I will be holding on to these. I'm not selling any of these, mainly because this portfolio is for more high risk investments. I have a private one for more moderate conservative picks and dividend investments and stuff like that. So the ones I keep in this portfolio is mainly for entertainment and also just to keep my high risk in this portfolio alone. So yeah, I might be adding new companies. I might be topping up some of these companies. So keep in touch with this channel and I will keep you up to date with any changes I make in this portfolio in the future throughout this year. So hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up, put a comment down below of your stock picks and what do you think of mine and what do you think of some of the brokers one. Just chuck them below and we can have a discussion. I'll reply to all of your comments generally, as long as there's not thousands. I'm normally quite free to do that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, put the bell notification for my live stream and next videos, and I will catch you in the next live stream or video. Until then, I'll catch you later. See ya.